Hello, my fellow nerds. It's been so long. It's been too long. Longer than I wanted. I promise. But how are y'all doing? I hope you're doing great. It's been, again, so long, and I miss this. Thank you to those who have reached out to me and understand life has just been crazy. I'll tell you everything and why I took a break, why it was longer than I expected, and all of the other fun stuff after I talk about the subject of this podcast episode. And that is movies to look forward to in 2023. The year is coming to a close, and I thought this would be a great getting back into the swing of things, into the swing of podcasting, making my comeback subject for an episode. So hopefully it's like riding a bike. I am Chanel, and this is the Nerd in Texas podcast, the Rebel podcast without a real intro. I talk about movies, books, TV shows, and the occasional video game. I will also fill your mind with useless information about your favorite actors, actresses, and fandoms. If you're a returning listener, thank you so much. I love you. You have no idea. If you are new, welcome. Take a seat. And I hope you enjoy my podcast. I am recording things differently. I used to have a Mac and I used to use GarageBand, but due to my business, and I use that computer for my business, I've had to move things around. And now I'm using a Windows and I'm having to use Audacity, and I've never used Audacity before, and I just can't get things right, and I don't know. I'm just trying. And to me, it doesn't sound great, but when I play it back, it sounds great. So hopefully this sounds good in your speakers. So I have sifted through the Rotten Tomatoes list of the most anticipated movies, and I did a little research. Some of the things, some of the movies I could find a lot of information. Some I couldn't find any information at all. Let's get this started. The first movie is Antman and the Wasp: Quantumanium. It's directed by Peyton Reed, starring Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, Jonathan Majors, and Bill Murray. Sorry for my voice crack there for a second. Opening on February 17th, 2023, obviously. Superhero partners Scott Lang, Paul Rudd, and Hope Van Dyne, Evangeline Lilly, return to continue their adventures as Ant-Man and the Wasp. Together with Hope's parents, Hank Pym, Michael Douglas, and Janet Van Dyne, Michelle Pfeiffer, the family finds themselves exploring the quantum realm, interacting with strange new creatures, and embarking on an adventure that will push them beyond the limits of what they thought was possible. One of my questions when I saw the trailer was, why did they recast Cassie? Cassie is Scott Lang's daughter in the MCU, and this is what I found. One of the main reasons Ant-Man 3 likely recast Cassie was to get a bigger star in the role. Katherine Newton is a rising star in Hollywood after roles in Freaky, Big Little Lies, The Society, Blockers, and Pokemon Detective Pikachu, where she starred with Ryan Reynolds. I have seen conflicting stories that the actress who played the original Cassie wanted to continue to be Cassie, but the decision wasn't up to her. I don't get the wanting a big star excuse. If the original Cassie stayed Cassie, she would have become bigger. It's these roles that make them bigger. But how do you feel about it? Tell me how you feel about it. Reach it out to me on social media. I personally don't really like it when they recast people. But, I mean, if they recast someone huge, I know it irks people, but Cassie has been just a small type role, but she's becoming a huge role, obviously, in Ant-Man 3. So it's interesting how this is going to go. Creed 3 will be released in 2023. I didn't find a whole lot of info, but it's going to be directed by Michael B. Jordan, starring Michael B. Jordan, Tessa Thompson, Jonathan Majors, and Felicia Rashad. It's going to be opening on March 3rd, 2023. But like I said, I couldn't find any information. Scream 6. It's going to be directed by Matt Bettinelli Olpen and Tyre Gillette. I'm not sure if I even said that right. It's going to be starring Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, Mason Gooding, Jasmine Savoy Brown, Hayden Panettiere, which I love her, but I think I said her name wrong, Courtney Cox, Samara Weaving, and Tony Revolori. It's going to be opening on March 10th, 2023. This will be the first Scream installment without Neve Campbell. Due to a salary dispute, she feels she was not offered enough for the role and what she feels she's worth. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. It's going to be directed by David F. Sandberg, starring Zachary Levi, Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, Jack Dylan Grazer, Asher Angel, Rachel Zegler. I think I got two names mixed up, and y'all could decipher it. Adam Brody and Megan Good. It's going to be opening on March 17th, 2023. I didn't find a whole lot of information about that either. John Wick Chapter 4, directed by Chad Stileski. And of course, it's starring the Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, Lance Reddick, Ian McShane, Donnie Yen, Bill Skarsgård, and I love any Skarsgård brother, Hiroyuki Sanada. I don't know if I said that right. Opening on March 24th, 2023. There will never be too many John Wick movies. So if you keep them coming, I don't care if it's a movie about him finally retiring and it's just him farming somewhere, I'll watch it. And the fact that Bill Skarsgård's in it, I don't know if y'all know the Skarsgård brothers. They're in a ton of things, but they're Scandinavian. They're my Scandinavian homies. Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, directed by John Francis Daly, Jonathan Goldstein, starring Chris Pine, Hugh Grant, which I was kind of surprised to see Hugh Grant because we haven't seen him in a while, Reggie Jean Page, or Jean Page, Michelle Rodriguez, love her, Sophia Lillis, and it'll be opening on March 31st, 2023. I haven't found any information about that, so my bad. It's going to be a good one. I'm excited about that movie. The Super Mario Brothers movie, directed by Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic. It's starring Chris Pratt, Anna Taylor-Joy, love her, Jack Black, love him, Charlie Day, Seth Rogen, love him, love his laugh, so funny, Fred Armisen, Keegan Michael Key, opening on April 7th, 2023. A lot of people have seen the trailer and are not happy about Chris Pratt's adaptation of Mario's voice. I say give it a chance. We literally only hear him say just like 2 words, and let's not jump the gun here. Jack Black sounds amazing as Bowser though, and I'm honestly excited for this movie just because of Jack Black and Bowser. And I can't tell, by watching the teaser trailer, I can't tell if it's going to be more Jack Black and about Bowser and his villain story, or if it's going to be more about Mario. But it's going to be interesting. Let's give it a try. I know people are trying to bully on Twitter like they did with Sonic and get Sonic you know how they got Sonic the Hedgehog changed, which was justified because he looked terrible. But this is just a voice, man. So let's see what happens. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, directed by James Gunn, starring Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana. Sorry if I said that wrong. I love her, but I said it wrong. Bradley Cooper, Dave Bautista, Karen Gillan, Palm Glimtiev, I think I said that wrong, Will Poulter, Elizabeth Debicki. It's going to be opening May 5th, 2023. Haven't found any information about that, but I love Guardians of the Galaxy, so it should be good. I was hoping for like a Thor mixed with Guardians of the Galaxy movie, because like how funny would it be to see Thor and Star-Lord like butt heads on the adventures and just like be aggravated with each other. I don't know, I just was hoping for a movie like that. Fast X, directed by Justin Lin, starring Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, Sung Kang, Ludacris. Me and my kids love Ludacris. Natalie Emmanuel. It's opening May 19th, 2023, and it will be the 10th installment. I have stopped watching after I don't know what number it is. Is it ever going to end? Like, it should be a TV show at this point and have so many series, like, and have so many seasons. Fast 10, everybody. The 10th movie. I remember being at Disneyland one time and you go through the Star Wars ride. I can't for the life of me remember what it's called. Okay, so it's either Star Tours at Disneyland or Space Mountain, and you're like waiting in line and it shows the news from like way in the future, like I don't know, way in the future. I forgot what year it was. I was a kid, okay? And they're talking about how having like Rocky 15, right? Like all, and now that's what it is for Fast and the Furious. There's like so many movies that I feel like we need another Back to the Future movie, and they like go into the future for like 3032 or something, and there's more Fast and the Furious movies, like where they're continuing to make Fast. It would just be so funny. So if anybody was thinking about that, get at me. I have awesome ideas. The Little Mermaid, directed by Rob Marshall, starring Halle Bailey, not Halle Berry, Halle Bailey, Jonah Huar King, Melissa McCarthy, which I'm so excited to see her as a villain. It's gonna be awesome. Javier Bardem, Daveed Diggs, and Aquafina. I don't even know. I don't even know at this point. It's opening on May 26th, 2023, the live action of The Little Mermaid, and there has been an internet uproar of who they chose as Ariel, which is Halle Bailey, a woman of color playing The Little Mermaid, and that's what they're having an issue with, is that she's a woman of color. I am so excited for this movie. It, like, listening to her sing and the build up, like, it gave me chills, and it's going to be so good. Like, there's literally like Melissa McCarthy as an octopus, like half woman, half octopus, and you're worried about like a woman of color playing a half human, half fish. Like, I don't get people sometimes, but it's gonna be great. I apologize if you guys hear the helicopter flying above my house. I live in the hill country, so we have all these hills, and my neighbor, who is like a super rich guy, built a house on top of one of the hills, and he has a hangar, like a, you know, like an airport hangar type thing, and he flies up and off his hill from a helicopter. And then at the same time, I'm not stationed, I live really close to Fort Hood Army Base, and their helicopters fly over my house sometimes, and it's crazy. It's also cool at the same time because I love that kind of stuff, and I love seeing the like really cool army helicopters just going by like, what up? Sometimes it's like those big trooper where it holds like all the troops type of helicopters, and then sometimes it's just like what seems like a helicopter that could like shoot something down. Oh, it's so cool. Anyways, on to the next movie, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, directed by Joaquim Dos Santos, starring Shamik Moore, Haley Steinfeld, I love her, Oscar Isaac, and Issa Rae. It's opening June 2nd, 2023. The Oscar-winning animated Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Shamik Moore will voice Miles Morales again, with Haley Steinfeld as Gwen Stacy, and Oscar Isaac's Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099, joining him. We also know that Issa Rae is set to voice Jessica Drew, which is Spider-Woman, and it's likely that Jake Johnson's Peter Parker will be back as well. If you have listened to my podcast and about my Spider-Man episode, you will know that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the animated series, it's on Netflix if you want to watch it, is like my favorite Spider-Man animated movie. And I realized that I need to do a recap of the newer Spider-Man movie, because I said I would do one without spoilers and then I'd do one with spoilers, because I have such an awesome idea that should have happened, and that not should have happened, but would have been like really cool if it happened in that movie. So I'm gonna have to go back to that and do the new episode. Transformers Rise of the Beast, directed by Stephen Caple Jr., starring Ron Perlman, Anthony Ramos, Peter Cullen, Dominique Fishback, Luna Lauren Velez, opening June 9th, 2023. I made the mistake of drinking a giant Aftershock Rebel from Dutch Bros. It's one of their energy drinks. They're really good. I love them. But I made the mistake of drinking a giant one, and I'm having to like pause to burp. I know that sounds so gross and it's probably too much information, but it's just like crap. I shouldn't have drank that. But it's one of my favorites. Like, Dutch Bros should sponsor me, because I'm pretty sure I pay this Dutch Bros rent that's by my house, because I am there constantly. I sounded like such a stuck-up person just then. I'm all like, constantly. But anyways, the Transformers franchise takes another step back in time after the 1980s. The 1980 set of Bumblebee, taking viewers back to the mid-90s as a pair of archaeologists stumble into a three-way conflict between different factions of Transformers. The film is loosely based on the Beast Wars storyline and will be directed by Stephen Caple Jr., directed Creed 2, with Peter Cullen reprising his role as the voice of Optimus Prime. Peter Cullen could literally just read me the dictionary. Like, if I were to ever meet him in person, I'd be like, hey, can you be my voicemail greeting? Like, talk like Optimus Prime and just be like, leave me a voicemail. Like, it would be amazing. The Flash, directed by Andy Muschietti, starring Ezra Miller, Ben Affleck, Sasha Calle, Billy Crudup, and Michael Keaton. This better be so good. This better be good. It's opening on June 23rd of 2023, and there is a lot of controversy over The Flash. And if he should be recasted because of everything that Ezra Miller has been doing. What a lot of you don't know about me is that I am also a huge true crime fan. I just kind of keep it under the low because of so many reasons. But I may or may not have came up with a timeline for all of Ezra Miller's shenanigans. Alright, so June 2011, Ezra Miller is charged on a marijuana possession. In April of 2020, Ezra Miller appears to choke a woman outside of a bar. And from now on, I'm going to be talking about everything that has happened in 2022. So starting January 2022, Ezra Miller delivers a cryptic message to the Ku Klux Klan. In March, Ezra Miller is charged with disorderly conduct and harassment. In March again, Ezra Miller gets a restraining order filed against them. In April, Ezra Miller gets arrested on a second-degree assault charge. In June, they are accused of grooming. In June, another parent comes forward with allegations against them. In August, they are accused of burglary. Again, in August, the Vermont State Police tried to serve an emergency care order to a mother staying at their house. In August, Ezra Miller reveals they're seeking treatment for complex mental health issues. And again, in October 17th, 2022, Ezra Miller pleads not guilty to burglary in a burglary charge in Vermont. As you see, Ezra is going through a lot. Me, personally, it's upsetting because I love Ezra Miller so much, and they play such a good Flash. I hope they get the mental health that they need. And he's just such an amazing actor. I'm sorry, they are such an amazing actor. He likes the pronouns they and them, and I'm trying really hard to respect that. If I slip, it's only because I'm so used to speaking that way, and I don't mean to offend anyone. But yeah, I really hope he gets the mental help that he needs. For the next movie, Indiana Jones 5, directed by James Mangold, will be starring Harrison Ford, Antonio Banderas, this is going to be interesting, Mads Mikkelsen, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Shawnette Renee Wilson, Toby Jones, and Boyd Holbrook. Opening June 30th, 2023. It'll be the first time ever that Steven Spielberg will not be directing an Indiana Jones movie. It would have been cool to see Shia LaBeouf in it, but I'm sure he has his reasons why he isn't, and I respect that. But it would have been cool. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, directed by Christopher McGuire, starring Tom Cruise, Rebecca Ferguson, Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames, Vanessa Kirby, Henry Czerny, Haley Atwell, Palm Clementine. There's a lot of hard last names. Shia Wingham and Eze Morales. Opening July 14th, 2023, with not a whole lot of information. The Marvels, directed by Nia DaCosta, starring Brie Larson, Tenoya Paris, Iman Vellani, and Samuel L. Jackson. Opening July 28th, 2023. This sequel to the Captain Marvel, which has Nia DaCosta, 2021's Candyman, at the helm, and Brie Larson returning as Carol Danvers. The film will also be big screen debut of Eamon Vellani's Kamala Khan as Miss Marvel after her Disney Plus series debut in 2022, so this year. I am excited to see Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel together on a big screen in a big movie. I know there's been a lot of controversy and a lot of hate towards Brie Larson. And I know she got a lot of hate about Captain Marvel, and she's stepped back a lot. There hasn't been a Captain Marvel sequel. The heartbreaking part is on the carpet of D23 Expo. The Marvel star Brie Larson was asked by Variety how much longer will she be playing Captain Marvel in the MCU, when Larson responded, "I don't know. Does anyone want me to do it again?" And the interview was like, "Don't be modest." When really they were just kind of like asking and saying things in a crappy way, said the Variety interviewer. But Larson reported, "I really don't know. I don't know the answer to that." And it's so heartbreaking and sad because I personally love Brie Larson. I personally love the Captain Marvel movie. What a lot of people don't understand is Brie Larson is a huge nerd just like all of us. And she's been quoted saying that Captain Marvel, her character, is going to need some work. And I feel like Disney and Marvel, with the Captain Marvel movie, in a way, did her kind of dirty. But like I said, I personally liked the movie, and what Brie Larson said before the movie came out that caused the uproar was 100% true. And even though we have Wonder Woman and we finally started getting female lead superhero movies, Captain Marvel is different. It's based in the 90s. It's based back when I was jamming to No Doubt, and the soundtrack was awesome, and all the little 90s Easter eggs were awesome. And Brie Larson, like I said, is a huge nerd, just like all of us. She plays Fortnite. Like, she loves these characters just as much as we do, and she wants it to be right just as much as we do. And it's just so heartbreaking to see someone who loves it so much and to get the hate that she received. And it's just like, I don't know. Does anyone want me to do it again? To answer your question, Miss Larson, yes, I want you to do it again. Our next movie is Barbie, directed by Greta Gerwig, starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. Opening on July 21st, 2023. There's been leaked photos with everything being spilled and the funny outfits that they have to wear because, Barbie changes into different outfits, and it just seems like a fun movie. The Nun 2, directed by Michael Chaves, starring Bonnie Aarons, opening on September 8th, 2023. Craven the Hunter, directed by J.C. Chander, starring Aaron Taylor Johnson, opening October 6th, 2023. Originally set to appear sometime in the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man franchise before was discontinued by Sony, the classic Spidey villain finally makes the jump to the big screen. The film will be directed by J.C. Chander. All Is Lost, Triple Frontier, he directed All Is Lost and Triple Frontier. Sorry, I'm just so bleh right now. With Aaron Taylor Johnson, who portrayed Pietro Maximoff, Quicksilver, in Avengers Age of Ultron, is set to play the character. So that's going to be interesting, and it's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. The Exorcist, directed by David Gordon Green, starring Leslie Odom Jr., Ellen Burstyn, and Dowd, opening October 13th, 2023. Dune Part 2, directed by Denis Villeneuve. I don't think I said that right. Starring Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin, and Stellan Skarsgård. There's another Skarsgård. Opening November 3rd, 2023. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, directed by Francis Lawrence. Starring Rachel Ziegler, Hunter Schafer, Tom Blythe, Jason Schwartzman. Opening November 17th, 2023. The franchise that Francis Lawrence returns to direct the Hunger Games prequel based on the novel of the same name by Suzanne Collins. The story primarily follows a young Cornelius Snow, originally played by Donald Sutherland, and his involvement in the Hunger Games as a game-changing mentor years before the events of the original series. Wonka, directed by Paul King, starring Timothy Chalamet. I know I'm saying it wrong, and I apologize. Olivia Colman, Sally Hawkins, Rowan Atkinson, Keegan-Michael Key. Opening on December 15th, 2023. Timothy Chalamet, or Chalamet. Like I said, I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong. Steps into the offbeat shoes of a young Willy Wonka in his origin story, which captures the budding chocolatier as he cross paths with the Oompa Loompas. I feel like it's kind of like Gru and the Minions, right? Like, this is how we find out how Oompa Loompas and Wonka got together. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be cool. Untitled Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel, directed by Jason Reitman and starring, we don't know yet. Opening on December 20th, 2023, even though there is not confirmed details about the sequel, except that director Jason Reitman is returning and stars Carrie Coon, McKenna Grace, and Finn Wolfhard, at least are likely to return, possibly along with Paul Rudd and the surviving original Ghostbusters. We also know that the film's setting will indeed be in New York, and the firehouse from the original films, which was teased at the end of Afterlife. Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom, directed by James Wan, starring Jason Momoa, Amber Heard, gross, Patrick Wilson, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Tamura Morrison. Opening on December 5th, 2023. James Wan returns to the director's chair for another go-to at the world of Atlantis and the DC superhero Aquaman, Jason Momoa, who will be joined by Amber Heard, Mira, Patrick Wilson, Ocean Master, and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, or the second. I don't know why I said two. Wow, that was as Black Manta. No other details about the film are available as of yet. Ooh, that film. There's going to be a lot of issues. Not a lot of issues, but yeah, of course it's being like pushed back and then pushed back and then pushed back. And we all kind of know why. And last, Legally Blonde 3, directed by Jamie Suk, starring Jesse, oh my god, starring Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Coolidge. When it's coming out, we don't know. There have been so many remakes and reboots and sequels, and I saw a clip of Legally Blonde on TikTok, and I was like, I'm surprised there hasn't been a reboot or a remake or whatever, or a sequel. And then I saw this and I was like, yep, there it is. So that's it, folks. That's what we have to look forward to next year. I hope you enjoyed this episode and maybe learned a few things. You never know. Maybe a movie that you didn't know was coming out. I'll be leaving this list on my pod page. Still trying to fix my website, but it'll get there. I've just been too busy to do this. But here's the debate with my podcast. I've had a few listeners reach out and ask for me to do like a weekly vlog where I talk about my personal life on a separate thing on YouTube. Reach out to me on, social media and let me know what you think. Should I talk about my personal stuff on my podcast, or should I have like a YouTube weekly vlog where it's kind of separate, where you can listen to this if you want to listen to it, and if you want to know about my personal life, you can watch it on YouTube. like I said, I think I said earlier about this one podcaster that I follow, and she just does such a good job at it. Like, I want to be her and have it look good and have it look easy, but oh my gosh, I'm so complicated at trying to get it set up and looking good and whatever, but I'll keep working on it. If you could like, follow, subscribe, or leave a review of my podcast on whatever platform you might be listening to, that would be awesome. It feels so good to be back, to be recording, to be kind of sort of talking to myself, but talking to you at the same time. I miss this. This episode kind of went a little bit longer than I normally do, but hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully you guys like it. I don't know. Hopefully you guys like my opinions, and if you don't like my opinions, and tell me, you know, how you feel about certain things, how you feel about certain movies coming out, how you feel about certain actors, actresses, whatever the case may be. Talk to me, people. It'll be awesome. But until then, again, it felt good doing this again. Have a great day. I love you guys.